When I studied math, I made sure not to go too deep into the math world. Because if you learn too much math, you can't talk to people anymore. So I had to cut myself off. So for instance, when I learned pi, I stopped myself at 10 digits. Yeah, because I actually discovered a formula when I was at Berkeley that for every extra digit of pi you learn, that's 1 year your virginity is delayed. So I had to cut myself off at 10. I can actually prove this theorem right now. I can prove it. You guys want a mathematical proof? We learned pi geometry sophomore year, when most of us are about 15 years old, hormones are raging. If you can't even learn a single digit of pi, you don't even remember that it starts with a 3 when you're 15 years old, it's because you're already having sex. That's the only possible reason. This guy knows what I'm talking about, okay? But the average person learns 3 digits of pi. The average person knows it's 3.14. Congratulations, you're average. And what's your reward for being average? You get to lose your virginity at the average age of 18, okay? You already noticed the linear trend here. We got 15 plus 3 equals 18, right? I know you don't come to comedy shows to do math, but when you watch my set, you ain't got no fucking choice, okay? Now, if you're learning more than 3 digits of pi, you're losing your virginity in college. There's no way. There's no one at senior prom who's like 31415, like you're going home, bro. It's not happening tonight. If you learn more than 7, masters, okay? If you learn more than 10, PhD. I have a friend who knows 100 digits of pi, still a virgin, okay? Now, I learned 10 digits of pi like a badass, okay? So I lost my virginity at, plug it into the formula, 15 plus 10 equals 20 fucking 5, not 27, bro. 10 plus 15 is 25, my friend. 25 is the best age to lose your virginity. I lost my virginity in a rental car that I rented myself, okay? You thought you were boss because you lost the Mommy Civic. I declined insurance on a Hertz, biatch. They cleaned up the mess. I just walked away like a champ. 31415-92653. 31415-92653. It's actually a phone number in St. Louis. I text it every day, still no response. Isn't that crazy? Somebody in Missouri has the phone number pi. But they're in Missouri, so they have no idea.
It's been nice traveling all around Europe and stuff and seeing how much you guys hate each other. It's nice. It's nice. We got here about 10 days ago. We escaped. I don't know if you follow U.S. politics right now. But the jokes are just oozing out of us. Ooh, my government is providing a lot of material. All these years of paying taxes finally paid off. A couple weeks ago, Trump got shot at, and he survived. He's a changed man now. You know, just 10% less ear, but he's a changed man. And the whole Republican Party has rebranded now. You know, MAGA? Yeah. That now stands for Man Almost Got Assassinated. Yeah. Someone shot at Trump multiple times, but it didn't kill him because right before the shots were fired, he turned his head 45 degrees. And if he had turned any more, the bullet would have pierced his skull. If he had turned any less, the bullet would have pierced his skull. Exactly 45 degrees to the right, might have had. Not the far right, okay? Not the far right. A little 45 degree win over some moderate voters, right? You know what I mean? And the bullet just grazed his ear, man. And people were like, whoa, that was staged. And people were like, oh, it was Biden who set it up. It's like, come on, relax, guys. It was both, okay? There was 2 assassins. They double booked. Right? One was trying to stage it. One was trying to kill. They're like, I didn't know you were going to be here. You didn't tell me. I mean, I like to, take both of those allegations seriously. Like, okay, if it was staged, that means that Trump knew exactly to turn his head 45 degrees. Would you trust Trump with that kind of plot? Was it exactly 45 because he was the 45th president? Are there layers to this? Also, let's be honest, if Trump set it up, then why was it a white guy who shot? You know what I mean? It would have clearly been a migrant. That would have worked very nice for their campaign. Now, it's like, was it a setup by Biden or the Democrats? I mean, let's look at the chronological events, okay? About a month ago, the polls came out. It was very clear that Biden was starting to lose to Trump and a lot of key battleground states. So they're like, all right, let's have a debate and level the playing field. That didn't work out so well for Biden. He took about 13 Ambien before that event. Finished 1 out of 100 sentences. So then his polls dipped even more after that, and everybody was like, we got to get rid of Biden. But Biden's like, I'm staying in the race. And all the top Democrats were like, he's staying in the race. And Obama was like, he's staying in the race, people. And we're like, do they know something that we don't? Like, this is weird. This confidence is scary. And then a week later, it got even worse. He called his Vice President Trump. And he introduced Zelensky as President Putin. And we were all very concerned. We're like, this guy's gotta go. And then the next day, Trump gets shot at, but it grazes his ear because he turns his head 45 degrees. And then 4 days later, Biden's like, I'm out the race. And we're like, okay, that's a little weird. I will say. Also, another reason why it might be the Democrats is they hired a white guy to shoot him. So, But basically, the new candidate for the Democrats is Kamala Harris, who I believe is the vice president. I'm not exactly sure. Not 100% sure, actually. But I don't make jokes about Kamala Harris. I don't. She's part of too many minority groups. I would get into too many flavors of trouble. I'm not interested. So laugh all you want, you edgy and sensitive comedy spectators. Okay, but Kamala Harris, as far as I'm concerned, is a strong, female, black, Asian, South Asian, mentally challenged person, and you will treat her as such. She's been part of many voiceless, powerless groups, and now she's the vice president, which is the most voiceless, powerless position a person can have in the entire universe. I already got in trouble for that joke, so don't worry. I told that joke, and afterwards, a very nice, young, special needs man came up to me, and he was like, hey, that was messed up. I'm like, you're right, I should not have said mentally challenged. He's like, no, looping her with us, that was messed up. Don't ever do that. You're gonna ruin my campaign. A lot of things have happened in the last. Julian Assange got freed a couple weeks ago, yeah. A lot of people are happy about this. A lot of people are like, who is he? Julian Assange was the founder of WikiLeaks, which released a lot of important information to the public that a lot of governments didn't want us to know, and so naturally the governments went after him because they don't like truth, and they locked him up, and now finally he's been freed. Now, of course, there are some allegations against Julian Assange that we should take seriously, and when you like someone, all you can say is, well, I hope those aren't true, There's an allegation against Julian Assange that he was having intercourse with a woman and he removed the condom without consent. Yeah, you hear that? That's the sound of men saying, I didn't know you couldn't do that. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. You have to ask before you remove the condom. It definitely changes the whole event. And yeah, I hope Julian Assange didn't. I really hope he didn't do that. Because if he did do that, it's serious. Because he is known for leaks. You may not like that joke, but he would want it to be released to the internet. The Olympics started, and most people are not excited. The Olympics in Paris. Paris, the most sophisticated city in the world. Oh, we're from Paris. We're from Paris. Paris, so sophisticated. We're so sophisticated when we protest, we shit in the river. That's what we So classy, so classy. I was on a train to Paris, and this woman sitting next to me, she was like, are you in the Olympics? I was like, why would you think I'm in the Olympics? What sport could I possibly be in? Beard growing? And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, oh my God, am I sure? I didn't think about that. Wow, I totally forgot I'm in the Olympics, and I should have checked my emails. And she's like, I bet you're in the Olympics. I'm like, just please leave me alone. And she's like, just tell me. I'm like, ah. So I put on a hijab and she left me alone. Yeah. They banned the hijab at the Olympics in Paris. And they say it's because, this is our national law in France. We don't have outward displays of religion, which is true, but it's targeting a specific group of people. So I got the inside scoop from some of the locals after they shit in the river. And they're like, yes, the French, they don't like Arabs. I'm like, for real? You don't like us Arabs? Then why'd you colonize us for hundreds of years? Huh? You think about that? There's like a little bit? You don't have like a little bit of a fetish? You don't have a little bit of that olive fever, you know what I'm saying? You like us Arabs. You can't just change your mind later on. You already put a ring on it. Yeah. They had 5 Arab colonies: Lebanon, Syria, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco. That's 5 rings. That's the 5 rings in the Olympics this year. For the sake of equality, I'm going to start a rivaling Olympics. It's going to be based in Baghdad. Yeah, and everyone wears hijab. Everyone. Even the men wearing hijab. It's called the Halal Olympics.